we start with from birth, and we don't really give much thought to it after that. And honestly, I think sometimes our parents don't give a lot of thought to it either. So in the case of my name, Adina, I have no idea what it means. I asked my mom before why she chose that name, and I think she basically just said she heard it somewhere and thought it sounded pretty. So, but my last name, Hampton, a much more common name. One of the first things I did when I got access to the internet in the early 2000s was go online and search my name. And what I found out was that the word Hampton means homestead in Old English, which I think is kind of interesting because also, as you have probably heard, there are a lot of places in Europe and even on the East Coast that have Hampton somewhere in their name. So the second thing that I did was go online and search my last name for genealogical purposes. And my parents didn't know anything about our family tree, so it was really neat to go on there and find so many records. They got birth records, death records, marriage records, even photos of people. And one of the most interesting records I found were wills. If you look at wills from like the 17 or 1800s, they have a lot of what we would now consider strange things in there. So they'll have like how many spoons they're giving to their kids, or how many pigs, or pots and pans, things like that. I was also able to find a lot of military records all the way from World War I to the Revolutionary War, which was really cool to see. I also was able to follow the branches of the family tree and find a lot of people that I was related to that are kind of famous, like Sam Adams, Jonathan Adams, even Davy Crockett, which I thought was pretty neat. And then I was able to locate the first immigrant to the United States. His name was John. He came over from England in 1675. He ended up settling in New Jersey, where he was basically one of the first people to assist with both building and funding the building of the first Presbyterian church in his area. And as a result, he actually has a pretty big monument in his name that sits on the place where the old Tennant Church used to sit. And it's near the cemetery where he was buried also. So I just think that it's really neat that we live in an age where all you need is the internet and a last name, and you can find out so much information about your family and maybe even yourself along the way. Thanks.